So next we're gonna move further, like how to create a store in Oracle RMS. So first we're gonna go to the foundation data, organization hierarchy, then store, and then these would be the required fields that are asked for the data. Moving on further, first you have to number the store, give store a name, populate the secondary name, then populate the 10 character name, and then populate the 3 character name. Then you have to select the channel, then you have to select the district, then you have to collect the transfer zone. Transfer zone can be like if you want to move a stock from one location to another or from one store to another store, then in order to create transfers, like uh, I have one, my supplier is in country Z, but I have to supply the material from country A to Z, then it would be a transfer, so a transfer zone would be created. Then you have to select the store format. Usually it is kept blank. Then select the currency. Basically, the project that we are working on, it's NZD. You can select as per your convenience the place you are working on. Then the language, we can select as many languages as it, but currently we use English. Then you have to select the specific time zone, GST region, like which part of vicinity you are using, so that which rules would be applicable. Then you have to select the organizational unit, means the fields that are marked in the asterisk one are the important fields, means these are the required and carry of utmost importance either while creating a store or while editing a store. Okay. Then there is store format. Either it is the example of, either it can be a store in the form of a mall, it can be in the form of a shop, etc. Then is currency. This is also a required field, then we have to populate the currency code over here. Then comes the language. You can select a specific code for that language which is used in your area. Then is time zone. We can select it as per our the convenience that we are working on. Then comes the VAT region, means what kind of taxes are available applicable on it, whether it is VAT or whether it is GST. Then there is transfer entity, organizational unit. This field is available in Oracle Financials, and this field is required. uh, this is the kind of business unit that we select, like for example TWL business unit, we are creating a store for this in this channel, right? Then we have transfer entity, which we have to enter the entity ID. Then we have default warehouse. This field is only enabled if you have a specified channel ID, like if we have store, we have store marked over there, then usually it is kept blank, but here it is given as the ID. Next we're gonna move further to the sister store or default warehouse. This field is only available we have when we have a channel ID. Then we have auto receive system. It is system default. Then we have sister store. We This field is used to copy the store's history when defining allocation for some new store. Means if a new store is created in country Z and within one city, and we have to create one more store, similar store in city 2, then we have to enable this option as sister store. If I drop down over here, you can create as many, you can select from the one. Then we have pricing store. Means who will decide the price of the said one. Then we have store class. It is marked as class stores A, B, C, D, E, X. So this store class field is defaulted to class X if you select the store type franchisee. See in the beginning, if it is store hours, or if it is not franchisee, then this is it. Select the store for store class if it is according to the store. Then we have store open date, store close date, store start order days, stop order days, tax ID, unique transaction number. This field indicates the transaction number in the store is generated uniquely or across the store at each register. Means we don't have to manually create the transaction number, but if enabled, we can it can directly populate the transaction ID in the following said registers also. Then we have to enter the manager name, respective phone number, fax number, email, mall name, total area, selling area, means the information that is available to you, means total space available at the store. Then we have linear distance, it is the shelving space at the store, means within store how much is the capacity that can be occupied in order to populate the products. Then we have acquired date, means the date at which store has been acquired. Remodel date means the date when the store has been renovated or used. Calendar icon to select a date. In order to enable it, we have to just click on this calendar and then we can enter that. Then we have DUNS number. DUNS number is a 9-digit code that helps us to identify the store. Then we have DUNS location number. It is the 4-digit code that helps us to identify the location of that store. Right? The difference between the two is the DUNS is 9-digit, which identifies that it is our store. But on the other hand, DUNS location number is the 4-digit one, which helps us to identify the location of that store. Then we move on further for the sales processing data. Integrated sales. You now these are the check boxes. These 8 check boxes helps us to determine whether which option we want to select or which want to be closed. Integrated sales checkbox is selected by default. Here it is not selected, but default it is selected. We cannot load the sales in the store RISA if this, like, RISA is retail sales audit, and if we want to vouch for the sales that we have taken place over the store, then we have to enable this option as integrated sales, and if it is disabled, then we would not be able to map it to the RISA. Right? Then is the stock holding location. Since this is grayed out, it is already defaulted. Okay, the stock holding checkbox is intended to be stock if the store is stock holding location, then it is enabled, and if it is, and this is selected by default. POS includes GST. POS means point of sale, means the place where my goods are being sold. So enabling this option while selecting will help me to conclude whether these are inclusive of GST or the prices would be exclusive of GST. Moving on further, we have re-merchandising checkbox. Selecting the re-merchandise checkbox if the store is undergoing a significant permanent or merchandising effort as an indicator to when advanced inventory planning application, then we select it, otherwise it is not selected. Then we have customer order location. This option is available if the store type is company and also the stock holding franchisee stores. If this option is enabled, the store can be used to source or fulfill the customer orders. Means by checkboxing this one, we can fulfill the customer's need. Moving on further, we have customer shipping. This checkbox helps us to know whether the order placed by the customer can be shipped as is or not. Gift wrapping option is also available and online store is also available. These helps us to select whether this are as per the franchisee one or not. Then we move on further for the address. We have to define a particular address for our store, whether it can be business or it can be postal. The view and the edit mode will remain same, which we have discussed earlier. For example, here the first address is business type. Address is given, address line 1 2 3. Then we have selected city, then we have the state code followed by postal code, country and jurisdiction. Jurisdiction is the administration that governs that area. Then we have the postal address. Usually business and postal address are same. You can add, click on add. You can add as many address type, business, order, postal, returns. Like in order to transact with the particular store, you have to use the business address. In order to place a order, you have to select for this order address. Then in order to dispatch, this is postal address. And in order to give the returns, these different addresses helps us to reconcile and minimize the um, vouching techniques for the stock holding keeping unit. Then moving on further, after adding these details, just click on save and close. Then your respective details will be saved. Then we have to click on more actions. Then there it is, location traits. Store location traits means actions, add location traits. You can select like whether you want to map it to Risa or not. Then click on save and close. Next is delivery schedule, actions, add, delete. You can select the store, supplier site, or you can select the warehouse. Then we have destination locations, like where would be the delivery store of that, right? Click on save and close after populating the details. And the last one is walkthrough. Walkthrough stores helps us to like give us the overview or the summarized area in order to get what activities are being happening in the stores. Next is more actions. Other attribute, SWS location, store, warehouse, SWS location configuration, in which we can give the parent store. And also about walk through stores is like this window allows us to define several stores in one location. Each store may operate as a separate entity, however, the stores are located in the same physical location. You can associate multiple stores as walkthrough locations. Walkthrough locations can be uploaded into system, or you can add walkthrough locations to a store. You must first you have to set up stores, and then you can link it with one another. So this was, you can, after populating all the details, just click on save and close and your store will be saved.